Today's class, we'll be working into the hips, just getting some really nice, juicy movements into the hips and utilizing the breath. It's so important that you focus on your breathing and the way you feel, because the physiology of the breath is that when you breathe in, to make room for your lungs, the lungs can stretch all the way from the collarbones down to those lower ribs. Now, how they do that is through a muscle called the diaphragm. This is the primary muscle. When you breathe in, when you really breathe through the nose, and maybe sometimes if you need, try it through the mouth, your diaphragm is going to pull down. Now, as it pulls downward, it'll put a light squeeze into your internal organs. Your internal organs are full of blood, and so as you pull down, the organs squeeze, that blood flushes into your cardiovascular system. You have two lungs, you have one heart, but you have 50 to 70,000 miles 50 to 70,000 miles of cardiovascular. That's arteries, veins, and blood vessels, capillaries, where oxygen is exchanged between oxygen and carbon dioxide. So why that's important is that when you breathe fully in, as the blood flushes out, your blood pressure actually rises. And so though you can't breathe into your fingers and into your toes, because blood flows to the far extremities, when you take a full breath, you're going to upregulate that blood pressure, and you actually are, in a way, breathing space into your fingers and into your toes, right? So today's focus on your breathing. Utilize a mantra, whether that be the words full and flow. If you're newer to using breath mantra or repetition of word, use full and flow. It really helps. Silently when you're breathing in the word full, silently when you're breathing out the word flow, and that's going to be a gentle reminder to breathe fully in and to let the breath flow out. If you've been doing a mantra for a while, if this is starting to be part of your practice, I invite you to use the sound Om. The beauty is when you repeat full, there's this beginning, middle, and end. But the sound Om, there's a beginning, middle, end, but because you can hold it almost indefinitely, since you're not actually audibly saying it, in your mind's eye, you can hold Om. And so you have this long vibration. And in that way, there's no space between the repetitions. You hold that long sound of Om, and it becomes like a sacred fire that helps to burn away any thoughts that are kind of stuck in the mind. It also begins to dissolve any thoughts that start to rise. So focus on the fullness of the breath. Focus on the quality of the thoughts in your mind. Full and flow if you're newer to mantra, or long Om. All right, let's begin. Come up into a comfortable seated pose. Now you can sit on a chair if your hips are really tight. You can sit on a block, a couple blankets, or a pillow, or easy cross-legged seated pose I'm doing here. Cross your right shin in front of your left shin. Take a hold of the front of the knees. Now we use the spine, we manipulate the spine to find the breath. So pull back with your hands, inhale, lift your chest, draw your chin back, and then start to lift the chin, expose the throat. Exhale, round and crow. So you're doing full breath cat-cows to your rhythm, to your speed. So if you're going too fast, that your breath is shallow, slow it down. Really explore what is the fullness of the breath. We know we can stretch muscles and we can stretch the body, but can you stretch your breath today? Because ultimately stretching the breath, stretching the lungs, taking them to their full capacity will help you open your body as well. Inhale deep. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Feel the breath. Fill the lungs. Breathe into your hips. Breathe into your spine. Exhale, round. Full. Flow. Or Om. Om. Control the mind. Control the breath. Full. Flow. Om. Om. Let's come back to a neutral spine. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. As the feet come together, let the knees fall wide. Wiggle a little side to side. Wiggle your hips back so that you can get a slightly tilted forward pelvis, or at least be upright. But if you're tight in the hips, then most likely your tailbone's going to hook under, and that's going to sacrifice your lower back. So You can bring the legs closer to straight, whatever you need to sit tall. Now, the more you bend the knees, if you can sit tall, you'll start to stretch inner groins, okay? From here, inhale. Exhale, start to tilt forward. Grab your feet, push your elbows into your thighs, and then squeeze your thighs back into your elbows. Full and flow. Not so much today about how far the pose goes first. The pose is an after effect. The depth you find in physical shape, this should be an after effect. The foundation of everything comes back to the breath. Utilizing the physiology of the breath, full breath in. Imagine sending breath into the hips. The blood pressure rises wherever we're stretching. You'll feel the intensity rise, and exhale. Utilize your breath to open your body. Now sit nice and tall, hands down by your sides. Press the pinky blades of the feet into the mat. Feel the outer glutes engage, drawing the knees down towards the earth. Sit tall, push down through your hands. If your shoulders are riding up to your ears, walk the hands a little bit wide. Stick your palms down, lightly energetically pull back. Feel that draw back, opening the chest. Now, full of breath, let's take 3 at least. All the way full, all the way empty. Press the pinky blades of the feet down, press the hands down. Everything that's touching the mat from the 4 limbs, press down. With the hands pull back, open your chest. With the feet lightly drag apart, feel those outer glutes opening the inner groins. 2 more, full and flow. Where do you feel the intensity rise? Full, go into it. Send your breath, flow. Slowly come back to the upright position. Take your right hand behind the lower spine, left hand to the outside of your right knee. Press your sit bones down, find that length in the low back, breathe in. Exhale, twist to the right. As you twist to the right, notice if it feels like you're hooked back, then you'll be rounded trying to rotate. If you need, scoot the hips back. Super important to ground the pelvis, to lengthen the spine nice and tall, and then to rotate from its height. Slow breath in and out. We go full and flow. 1 breath at a time. Slowly switch sides. Left hand behind the lower back, right hand to the outside of the left knee. Firm your sit bones down, find the top of your head, lift it away from your hips. Inhale, exhale, twist. Turn your chin to your left shoulder. Now focus on the breathing, all the way full. Let the breath flow. All the way full. Let the breath flow. Slowly come back to center. Bring your knees together. Come all the way up to standing. As we get to a standing pose, shake out the legs a little, tap out the knees, or bend and straighten the knees. Let's warm up the sides of the spine. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Separate the feet hip distance. Press down into your feet. Energetically pull your feet away from each other. Take the right hand, press into the back of your left hand. Then pick up your left foot, firm into the right leg. Bend your left knee, step the left foot behind you and slightly to the right. Press into the left ball mount. Bend both your knees a little. Squeeze your thighs together. Inhale, reach up and over to the right. Lengthen the top of your head away from your hips. Focus primarily on the length and the space on the left side of your waist. Then ride the breath all the way full. Let it flow. 2 cycles of breath on your own. Slowly come back to center. Other side. Left hand pushes on the back of the right hand. Step your right foot behind and out to the left, beyond the right ball mount. Press into the ground with your feet. Squeeze your thighs together. Elevate the hands like you're trying to press up on the ceiling tiles. Then inhale, up and over to the left. As you firm the thighs, maybe wiggle the hips a little. Find the length of the spine. Focus on the intention of opening the space between the right armpit and the right hip. Utilize the quality of your breath to access it. All the way full, all the way flow. Use your mantra. Maybe it's the sound Om. Inhale up. Take your hands nice and wide. Grab your pull-up bar. Exhale, pull down. Feel your back muscles engage. Separate the feet hip distance. Now reach your arms forward. Exhale like you're doing an upright row. Pull. Pull your arms back. Feel those back muscles engage again. Bend your knees. Inhale, back bend. Stay in the back bend. We do those two arm positions. Take the arms up to the sky. Exhale, pull down. Think of lifting the spine. Take the arms forward, breathe in. Exhale, pull back. Think of moving the head and spine backwards. Inhale, go up, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, tilt your hips, take your bow. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Push off of your shins. Lightly pull your hands up. Move your hips back, your heart and head forward. Breathe in. Exhale, crouch, round, and curl. Lift your heels, get up onto the ball mounds of your feet. Push your palms down into the mat and squeeze your hands inwards towards your legs. This is going to put resistance for your thighs. As the knees start to buckle in, oppose that resistance. Push your legs against your hands. Feel your outer hips turn on. So the arms energetically squeeze in and the legs resist by pushing out. Breathe fully in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Let's take it up. Exhale, right hand pushes on the back of the left hand. Step your left foot behind you. Inhale, side bend to the right. Exhale, back to center. Flow with breath. Inhale, side bend to the left. Switch the feet, switch the hands. Exhale, back to center. Grab the bar, pull down. Inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, pull the arms back. Feel those two different ways the back muscles turn on. Now, inhale, take your back bend. Stay in the back bend. We do the two arm positions. Inhale, arms reach up like you're doing a pull-up. Exhale, lift the spine tall. Stay in the back bend. Inhale, arms reach forward. Exhale, like you're doing an upright row. Pull back, send your heart back. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, crouch, round, and curl. Arms squeeze in, legs push out. Heels down, inhale, mountain pose, take it up. Last time through, right hand on the back of the left, step your left foot back. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, center. Inhale, side bend to the left. Exhale, center, grab the bar, pull down. Reach forward, inhale, exhale, pull back. Feel your back muscles turn on. Inhale, back bend. Stay for the exhale, arms reach up, pull down. Inhale, think heart high. Reach forward. Exhale, pull the arms back, go back. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, high plank and hold. Hands come down to the mat. Squeeze your hands back towards your toes. Take a breath in. Keep your spine nice and long as you lower all the way down to your belly. Zip your legs together. Tops of the feet press down. Reach your arms by your sides. Press all 20 nails, fingernails, toenails into the ground. As you press down, lift the back of your heart. Lift your chest. Lift the back of the head. Inhale, Shalabhasana, locust pose. At first, keep all 20 nails pressing down. Use that to lift the back of the head, roll your shoulders open. Now, once you feel the open space of the chest, breathe very deep. Think length first. Point through your toes. Start to hover the legs off the mat. Lift your hands, turn your palms face down. Now reach the top of your skull forward and send your fingers and toes back. Full through the inhale. Steady for the exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale, release down. Inhale, rise up to a tabletop pose. Now, pick up your right knee, send it out to the right, like you're a dog on a fire hydrant, okay? When you lift your knee, notice your left hip will start to collapse to the left. Hug your left hip back. Lifting the right knee is engaging the outer right glute. Making sure the pelvis doesn't sway to the left is engaging the left glute. Start to circle the right knee. Couple options here. You can circle the knee with the leg bent. This is a little more accessible, or start to straighten the leg. As you straighten the leg, you'll find that the leverage of the foot being away from the hip adds a great deal of intensity and stress. Bring the right foot down to the mat. Open your left knee, left heel comes in. Sit back, so you're in half child's, and then with the right leg straddled nice and wide. Go to your fingertips, pull lightly back, lift your heart forward. Breathe. Three cycles, full to empty. Not about how far you get into the pose. That should be in effect. The causation is the quality, the space, and the fullness of the breath. Slowly rise, center your left knee, pick up your right knee, cross your right knee behind and outside your left knee, split your ankles wide. As you split the ankles, point through your toes, kick into your shins. Wiggle your hips side to side. Do one round of cat-cow. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, neutralize your spine. Start to sit. Begin to hover your butt just off of the ground. Now walk your hands as far forward as you can as the hips go down. Start to walk your hands over to the left. Let your head relax. Keep your chest lifted just over your thigh. Now breathe, full to empty with the mantra, Om to Om, or full and flow. Slowly rise. Okay, let's take to the other side. Unwind the legs. Tabletop pose. Lift your left knee out to the side. As you lift the left knee, half of the practice is in the action you're taking. The other half is in the reaction. You want to notice is that right hip kind of leaning out to the side. Can you pull your right hip back? Circle your left knee. Feel the left glute working. Find the stability in the hips. Feel the right glute working. Stay or extend the leg nice and long. Find the place you can breathe. Then set your left foot down. Open your right knee out to the side. Right ankle comes in like you're doing half of a child's pose. Then start to sit back. So it's a child's variation with a nice long left leg. Opening up the inner left groin. Opening up the back of the thigh. Go to your fingertips. Walk your fingertips forward. Lightly pull back. Now breathe, full to empty. Draw the shoulders back. At least 2 cycles of breath with the mantra. Where do you feel stressed? What can you soften? What can you let go of? Slowly up to tabletop pose. Bring the left knee back in. Right knee comes in a little. Lift the left knee. Sweep it behind and outside your right knee. Open your ankles and point your toes. Kick into your shins. Squeeze your thighs together. Hover your buttocks just above the mat. Hover your belly just above your thighs. Go to your fingertips. As you go to the fingertips, crawl them forward and over to the right. Wag your tail. Move your shoulders and keep your chest hovering just over your legs. Now find your breath all the way full. Let it flow out. Use your mantra, control the mind. Breathe consciously, think consciously. You'll begin to direct and shift your emotional and physical energy. Inhale, slowly rise up into a tabletop pose. Take your knees nice and wide, toes together. Traditional child's pose. Rest your hips onto your heels. Walk your hands forward. Maybe flip your palms to face the sky. Let your forehead relax. Kick a little into the shins. Sit a little into the hips. Let your breath go full to empty. Inhale, rise, tabletop. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out your legs. Sway your hips from side to side. Inhale, lift high onto the ball mounds of the feet. Bend your knees. Exhale, spin your heels to the right. Point your toes to the left. Push your hands into the mat. Firm the outer edge of your left foot down. Pull your right hip back. Now breathe full. Send the breath to the left side. At least 2 cycles of breath with your mantra. Then switch. Heels come up. Heels drop to the left. Toes go to the right. Press the outer edge of your right foot down. Feel that outer right hip engage. Pull your left hip back. At least 2, 3, or 3 cycles of breath with the mantra. The shape is just a part of the practice. It's the breath that opens the body. The shape is just the platform. It's the space that allows the breath to work its magic. Back to center. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Separate your feet mat distance, Malasana frog squat. Now, elbows on top of the thighs. The reason being is if you have some hip flexibility, there is a tendency to shut off the body. And as you sit too low, all of a sudden you can see my whole body is rounding and I'm starting to dump my low back and my neck. So first, start with your elbows on top of the thighs. Press your elbows down. Take a look at your knees. Point your knees in line with your middle toes. Now that can happen one of 2 ways. Either you can use your buttocks to open the knee, or if you need, turn your feet. But either way, end up with the knees in line with the middle toes. To the degree that you can stay engaged in your legs, your glutes, you start to get low. What does that mean? It means if you pick up the elbows, can you hover the hips? Can you move them up? Can you move them down? Do you have wiggle room? And if you get too low and you're like trying to get out of it and you're stuck and you have to use your arms to lift, that's way too far. That tells you the power line of the glutes and legs has shut off. So you want to find that balance between strength and stretch. Take the elbows against the inner thighs. Now, you'll have to rearrange the feet as you start to open the hips. Turn your feet a little wide, then use your arms. Pry open the legs. Oppose with your legs. Super important that as we stretch the inner groin, we also oppose that. Press your thighs into your arms. Press your arms into your thighs and lift your heart. Close your eyes. 3 cycles of breath with the mantra. Full. Let it flow. Or mental om to mental om. Hands come down to the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Now, turn to face sideways on your mat. Walk your legs nice and wide, coming into a wide-legged straddle. Inhale, halfway lift your chest. Point your toes slightly open. Exhale, bend into your right knee. I'll mirror you on this. Flex your left toes back against the shins. How low you go is same as Malasana. It's based on your ability. Can you lift out of your depth without using momentum and without using the arms too much, right? So get a little lighter on the fingertips. Inhale, center. Exhale, sit towards the left hip. Sit towards the left heel. Flex your right toes back. Let's go side to side. When you go side to side, squeeze the legs lightly towards each other so that you're stretching and strengthening. That squeeze is going to help engage the inner groins, protecting this from overstretch. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. And if this is too much, you can also keep the hips a little bit lifted. You don't have to sit too far down, and you don't have to upright the spine. Where's your uncomfortable edge? Where's the place where you feel good that you're taking the body just a little deeper than it normally goes? Just opening it, but with love and compassion. Okay, slowly come back to center into your wide-legged straddle. Walk the feet slightly in. Halfway lift your spine, breathe in. Sweep your hands behind your back. Palms go together flat. Bend your elbows. Lift the top of your head forward. Pull your hips back. Exhale, wide-legged forward bend. As you bend your knees and lift your hips, lift the back of the heart. Squeeze your palms and open your chest. 3 cycles of breath. Oscillate between squeezing your legs towards each other and pulling your feet away from each other. And play with that. Go squeeze in, pull apart. Squeeze in, pull apart. And what you'll feel when you squeeze in, there's the inner thighs, inner groin. As you pull apart, there's the outer legs, outer glutes. Can you wiggle that oscillation to help create the space for your pelvis to tilt forward? You see, when muscle hugs to bone, it creates a little bit of space inside the joints. And so as we oscillate the engagements, you'll find a little bit of wiggle room. Breathe fully in. Hands to low back, and then down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, turn to face forward, downward facing dog. Pedal your legs, sway your hips. 1 round of the vinyasa. Inhale, come forward, high plank pose. Take it or leave it. Exhale, lower halfway down, high to low. Get on the tops of your feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hold 3 cycles of breath. All right, if that sounds excruciating, you're too far into the pose. Okay, find a place that's sustainable. Draw the shoulders back. Lean onto the left leg. Look over your right shoulder. Lean onto the right leg. Look over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Balance the pressure into all 10 of your toenails. Exhale, lower your knees. Sit back into your child's pose. 3 cycles of breath. Let your practice be a love letter to the body. Every breath you take with loving compassion. Every breath honors the space of the body and your intuition. What do you feel? How do you breathe? By focusing on the quality of your breath and the sensation in your body, you begin to have a beautiful conversation with yourself. The body will tell you exactly what it needs to open. Sometimes we have to engage. Many times we have to relax a little. We're constantly over-squeezing, trying to overachieve inside the pose. So let your breath nourish your body and let the pose nourish your practice. Inhale, rise up, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, float your right leg high. Exhale, step wide, runner's lunge. From your runner's lunge, come down onto your elbows and onto your forearms. Start to circle your hips. As you circle your hips, press, play with the weight in your feet, pushing from the big toe to the pinky toe to the inner and outer ankle bone. And then slowly lower your left knee down, crawl up onto your hands, go onto your fingertips if that feels accessible. Protect your low back by bracing your core. Now, lift your chest, Press into your right heel, contract your right glute. Squeeze your left glute, bringing the tailbone slightly under. Bend your back knee, squeeze your heel to your butt. Go to your left palm. Right hand on top of the right thigh. Push hand to thigh and thigh to hand. Use this to turn the belly, to turn the ribs, to turn your chest. Now sweep the right arm high, reach back, capture the pinky blade of the foot. Squeeze with your right bicep. Move your head from shoulder to shoulder. Look for the length of the neck. Now breathe full and empty. The pose is just a shape. It's the breath that changes the energy inside. Let the blood flow through you by breathing into your max edge. Stretch your lungs, stretch your breath, and your body will open. Slowly release the left foot down to the mat. Crawl up onto your fingertips, lift up your back knee. Inhale, sink your hips, lift your chest, a little bit of fluid movement. Exhale, straighten your front leg, round and curl your spine. Flex your right toes back against the shin, bringing the ball mount off the mat. Inhale, hips low, chest up. Exhale, straight legs, round and curl. Inhale, hips down, heart forward. Exhale, straight legs, round and curl. Inhale, hips down, chest up. Exhale, straight legs, round and curl. Inhale, bring the hips down, push into your hands. Exhale, downward facing dog, right foot steps back. Inhale, float your left leg high. Exhale, step wide, runner's lunge. Down onto the hands, down onto the elbows and forearms. Open your left knee to the side. Walk your left foot forward, making sure the knee tracks on top or behind the ankle. Now play with the body weight, pushing into the left big toe, left pinky toe. Start to circle your hips. As you move the hips, find the quality of your breath. If you find a place where you're like, oh, there's a little bit of tension or tightness, pause right there. Go into the sensations of discomfort, the ones we normally run from. And as you breathe deep, you'll start to wear off the labels and just feel the information from the body. In order to heal, we have to first feel. Can you notice the sensations that rise and breathe deeply into them? With the mantra full, let it flow. And that long sound, Om. Slowly, the right knee comes down to the mat. Walk up onto your straight arms. Brace your core, protect your spine. Front ribs, hip points, draw to navel. Go to your fingertips, start to lift the upper body back. Bend your right knee, squeeze your right heel to your butt. See how that feels on the quad? And then keep it, or left hand onto the left thigh. Release the right leg down. Let's add the twist. Push with your right palm, push with your left hand. Turn your belly, turn your ribs, turn your chest. Move your head from shoulder to shoulder. Feel the length in your neck. Now, bending the right knee, maybe take the left arm, sweep back, grab the pinky blade. Now, if you're going to pull with your arm, make sure you engage the muscle you're stretching by kicking with your leg. Now, breathe. Slowly release your left hand down to the mat. Pick up your back knee. Go to fingertips. Inhale, lower your hips, lift your chest. Exhale, straighten your legs, flex your left foot back against your shin. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Inhale, hips low, chest up. Exhale, straight legs, squeeze. Inhale, hips low, chest up. Exhale, straight legs, squeeze. One more. Inhale, hips low, chest up. Exhale, straight legs, squeeze. Inhale, bring your hips down, seal your palms to the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. One round of the vinyasa, take it or leave it. Inhale, forward, high plank. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend both your knees. Exhale, travel all the way down to a seat. Ardha Matsyendrasana, this is a variation, so the hips don't have to hit the mat. This one, we're really stretching open the outer right glute. Center your left knee, cross your right ankle over the top of the left thigh. Take your left arm, wrap it around the outside of your right leg, palms together, hook your thumbs. Now pull with your bicep, pull with your spine, lean back. Oppose, push your leg into your forearm when you feel this right hip is being stretched. That stretch comes from you pulling with the arm. Now we engage the stretch, how? By pushing the leg into the arm. That flexes, contracts the outer right glute, and then maybe wiggle your arm around. As you contract the glute, as you stretch it, just move the knee a little in circles, and you'll feel that kind of dance sensation in the outer right hip. Breath in. Exhale, add a little twist. Turn the belly, turn the ribs. Slowly release the arms. Double pigeon pose. Hang the ankle just outside the left knee. Flex your feet back against your shins. Sit up nice and tall. Hands can come down by your sides to help you get the length of the spine. Lift, swing your hips back. Press the pinky blade of your right foot down so that you'll feel the right knee begin to descend. Now walk your fingers forward and walk them wide. Forward and wide, forward and wide. Lower your chest towards the ground. But ideally, can you hover the hands at any time? Keep the muscles in your spine active, the muscles along the back of your body. Lift the back of your heart, think length, and breathe deep. Inhale, slowly rise. Center your right knee. Cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. Take your right arm, wrap it around the front of your left leg. Palms together, hook your thumbs. Pull with your right bicep. Push your leg into your forearm. Feel your outer left glute engage. You pull with the arm and spine, lean back to stretch the hip. You engage the hip by pushing the leg into the arm and then take those little circles. Just find that little bit of inner massage into that outer left hip. Send your breath full and flow. Use your mantra. Maybe it's Om to Om. Bring the right shin to parallel with the front of the mat or the side of the mat, however you're rotated. And then hang your left ankle outside of the right knee for double pigeon. Flex your feet back against your shins. Press the blades of the feet down. Take your hands by your hips. Lift your hips, scoot a little bit back. Find the length of the spine. Use the fingertips or don't. Maybe you hover them. Lift your spine. Then exhale, tilt your hips. The tilt of the pelvis will keep the spine long as you begin to bow. Careful the spine doesn't round towards the bottom. If it starts to round, notice it. Lift the back of your heart. Lift the back of your neck. Find the quality of the breath. Inhale, slowly rise. Unwind the legs. Tap out the backs of your knees. Cross your shins. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk it back. Just checking in with the feeling of the legs. Inhale, float your right leg high. Exhale, step between your hands, low lunge. Pin your back heel down. Inhale, warrior two, bring it open. From this standing position, track your right knee in line with your right middle toe. To do that, push into the outer right heel. Hug the outer right hip in. Press into your outer left heel. Engage this outer left glute, keeping the left arch lifted. Breath in, just a gentle flow. Exhale, extended side angle. Take your right arm to the outside of your right leg. Squeeze in and oppose. Push your leg into your arm. Feel that right glute engage. Now, can you keep the right glute that engaged without the use of the arm? Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up, reach back. Left hand on the back of the right hand. Push the sky away from you, then slide it back to the left. Inhale. Exhale, sweep your hands on down to the mat. Right arm tees out. Inhale, twisting lunge. Turn your belly, ribs, and chest. Roll to the outer blade of your left foot. Press your left hand and your left pinky blade down, horizon lunge. Roll to the outer blade of the right foot. Let the hips lower. Lower your right hand, breathe in. Exhale, straighten your right leg, reach forward, breathe out. Inhale, hips low. Exhale, hips high. With the mantra, full. Exhale, flow. Inhale, full. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward, high plank. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step through, low lunge. Back heel pins down. Inhale, warrior two. Dig into those outer heels. The back outer heel engages the back outer glute, lifting the back arch. The outer left glute opens the left knee towards the left middle toes. Breathe in. Exhale, extended side angle. Take the left arm to the outside of the left leg. Push. The left arm creates the resistance. Oppose. Push the leg into the arm. You'll feel the left buttock engage. Turn your belly, turn your chest. Now, can you keep the glute engaged as you free the arm? Inhale, reverse warrior. If you lose the feeling of the left glute engaging, most likely that left knee is collapsing. Push through the outer heel, hug the outer left hip in. Right hand pushes through the left hand to send the sky up, then slides to the right, fully in. Exhale, sweep your hands down to the mat. Left arm tees out, inhale, twist. Roll to the outer edges of both your feet, breathe in. Stay for the exhale, press those blades down, start to sink the hips, reach back, inhale. Exhale, reach forward, straighten your front knee. Inhale, bend the knee, lower the hips. Exhale, straighten the legs, reach forward. With the mantra, full and flow. Full. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot back. Inhale, forward, high plank. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot through into a low lunge. Inhale, star pose. Bring it all the way to standing. Tee out your arms in line with your shoulders, and then eagle wrap your right arm under. Now, take your elbows, find little circles. Bend your knees. Get low into your legs. So start to move the body. Think of this like your elephant trunk, and you can sway it side to side, loosening up the sides of the spine. Or imagine dipping down, pulling some water from the ground, then lifting it up and pouring it on your head. You get low, pull up the water, lift, and breathe. Side to side, circle through the elbows. See what feels good in the shoulders and the upper back. Check in time and time again with the knees that they're pointing in line with the middle toes. From here, tee out the arms. Other side. Left arm underneath the right. Cross the elbows, cross the wrists. This time your intuition guides you. I'll move around, feel out my body. You breathe deep, feel out yours. Use your mantra. Maybe close your eyes. Move the breath. Full to flow. Feel free to add in some skandhasanas, going side to side. Playing with what we worked on before, if that feels energized and open. We meet back in 3, 2, 1. Tee out your arms. Parallel your feet. Turn the big toes in, breathe in. Exhale, pull your feet apart from each other, bend your knees, tilt your hips. Hands come down to the mat, fingers line up with toes, fingernails in line with toenails. Hand shoulder distance. Separate your feet nice and wide, then bend your elbows. Press your hands down and forward. Pull your heels back. Lift the back of your heart and breathe full to empty. full to empty. Walk your hands wide, grab the outside edges of your feet, pull. When you grab the feet, careful of dumping the head and neck, lift the back of your heart. Bend your knees, pull the hips up and back. Let the breath move through you. Use your mantra. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, walk your feet together, then come down to your knees. Prone frog. If you want, you can take the sides of the mat, roll your mat towards the middle. This will help you to double pad your knees. The more flexible you are, the less you'll roll because you'll need that space. From the front profile, your knees should be right in line with your ankles, so the ankles should disappear if someone was in front of you. And from the sides, your knees are in line with your hips. Walk your hands forward. Press down into your legs. Squeeze your legs lightly towards each other. Let your breath come in. Full. Flow. Om in. Om out. Every breath carries with it an opportunity to rinse out carbon dioxide, to bring in space, to bring in oxygen, to open the body from the inside out. With the repetition of the mantra, the breath becomes like the soap and water that helps to purify the disturbances in the mind. Walk your hands back, slowly walk your knees together, unravel your mat, turn, downward facing dog. Right leg high, inhale. Exhale, pull your knee into your chest, come forward, then bring your right knee out to the left and lower your right hip down to the mat. So stay on the back ball mount. Here's a couple different options. Parallel your right thigh towards the front of the mat and then bring your forearms down. So you're getting into a little twist here. Notice if your left foot just dropped out and the toes are pointing left, can you stay up on that back ball mount? This is a little bit more accessible. If it's already tight, you're in a good place. This is a great place to breathe. You're rolling into that outer right hip. Use your forearms, press down, lightly pull back. Try to come off of just the glutes and roll onto the outer thigh, onto the outer hip. Then slowly, if it feels okay, straighten your right leg. Both legs are now straight. This is going to intensify the stretch. The leg can be somewhere between the two. It can be on the spectrum. It doesn't have to be all the way straight or all the way bent. See what feels wonderfully uncomfortable for you, but flex those right toes back against the shin. Option 1, you stay. And then option 2, take your right hand, push it into the mat, then thread your left arm underneath. Land the left shoulder down. Put your right hand down into the ground and push. So you're in this deep outer hip stretch with a little rotational twist. Now breathe. Utilize your mantra. Feel the balance on your left toes. Feel the breath. Feel the places where there's space being invited through the pose. Can you fill that space with breath? Slowly unwind. Downward facing dog. Let's step it out. Left leg goes high. Exhale, knee to chest. Then cross your left knee over to the right. Lower your left hip down to the mat. Parallel your left thigh to the front of the mat. Come down onto your elbows and forearms. Stay lifted on your back toes. Push down through your forearms. Pull lightly back to roll your body forward. Then start to straighten your left leg. Flex your left toes back against your shin. Push evenly into the right ball mount. Pull your left hip a little to the left. Feel those outer hips. It should feel pretty deep. Left hand pushes to the mat to lift your chest. Right arm threads underneath. Land the right shoulder down, right side of the head down. Slide the left hand in a little so the hand's underneath the elbow. Now push
Wherever you're touching the ground, push. That's the outside of the right arm, the left palm, the left hip, left pinky blade, and the right ball mount. Deep breath in, deep breath out. I think Sachi thinks there's something wrong because I'm in this pose. Fully in. Stay for the exhale. It looks weird, huh, buddy? Inhale, rise up. Exhale, downward facing dog, but it feels amazing. Okay, inhale. Empty the breath out. Slowly come all the way down, lean forward, come all the way down onto your belly. Let me change views for this. As you come down to the belly, come up onto your forearms and elbows. Take your right knee, slide it up towards the right elbow, point your right toes down. Okay, on your forearms, circle your hips. As you circle the hips, can you feel a little release in the lower back? Then take your right hand down to the mat. Exhale, left arm reaches out. Thread your left arm underneath. Take your right hand into your heart. And then roll into a supine twist. So the right knee stays where it is. The right hip is stacked right on top of the left hip. Then both shoulder blades come down to the mat. And breathe. Circle the hips a little. That should feel so nice. Roll onto your back. As you roll onto your back, half happy baby pose. Draw your right knee into your right armpit. It's a half happy baby, so peace finger, thumb grab your right big toe or grab the pinky blade of your right foot. Left hand on top of the left thigh, push. Right arm pulls, right side of the back pulls. Now, to the degree that you can keep that left hip on the ground, start to straighten your right leg out to the side. As you straighten the right leg out to the side, breathe into the right inner groins. Full to empty. Full to empty. Bend your right knee. Right knee wraps over the left knee. Gomukhasana from the back. Grab the bottoms of your heels. Flex your feet back against your shins. Squeeze your thighs together. Pull with your arms. Push with your feet. Wiggle your hips. This should feel so good in those outer glutes. If you track the knees forward over your pelvis, it'll help you to ground your sacrum down, and that should feel nice in your lower back. Breath in. Empty out. Fully in. Let it go. Slowly, wrapped twist. Let your right knee, or let your knees stay wrapped. Let them fall to the left. So this is just a little outer right hip stretch to go along with the twist. Take your left hand, place it on the outside of your right hip, and just lightly push. Circle your hips around. The left hand goes somewhere between the top of the thigh and the outer thigh. The idea is you start to push the thigh and the pelvis away from your spine and feel the length into your lower back. And then straighten your left leg, roll onto your belly. You go right back onto your forearms with the right knee back, and then step it back. Other side, left knee comes forward. Press into the forearms, point to the left toes, circle your hips. As you circle the hips, press a little into the ground through your legs. This should feel so good for the lower back. Left hand pushes down to the mat. Right arm threads underneath the the left arm, and then thread. Right shoulder hits the mat. Left hand to center chest. Roll onto your back. Make sure that you keep rolling until the left shoulder blade hits the ground, even at a cost of that left knee lifting a little. That's okay. Push the blade of the right side of your leg into the ground from the right hip to the right pinky side of your foot. Circle the hips a little. Slowly roll onto your back. Half happy baby pose. Left knee comes out to the left armpit. Pull. Peace finger thumb wrap your left big toe. Right hand on top of the right thigh. Push. To the degree the right buttock can stay down, start to straighten your left leg out to the side. Pull with the left arm. Pull with the left side of your spine. Keep your pelvis stable, evenly balanced on the mat. And breathe. Full to empty. Full to empty. Bend both your knees. Left knee crosses over the right knee. Gomukhasana from the back. Grab for the bottoms of the heel bones. Flex your feet back against your shins. Track your knees forward. Left knee stacks over the right knee. Pull with your hands, push with your feet. Circle the hips a little. Try to stack your knees on top of your pelvis. That'll ground the sacrum and feel so good to the lower back. Slowly, feet come down to the mat. Use that right foot. Lift the hips and let the knees fall to the right. Wrapped twist. Move the shoulders side to side. Ground both shoulder blades down. Turn your head to the left or to the right. Take your right hand, push it somewhere between the top of the left thigh and the outer left hip. You kind of want to find that little nook in the thigh as you push and wiggle your hips. This should feel so good for the lower back and outer hip. Slowly, slowly unwind. Straighten your right leg and come right onto your belly. Left knee stays towards the left elbow. Take a breath in, lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. As you get back into your downward facing dog, pedal your legs. If you want to take one last vinyasa, high to low plank, go for it. Inhale, forward, high plank. Exhale, lower slow. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, travel down to a seat. Straddle your legs out nice and wide. And it's wide to the degree that you can keep your sit bones down and your spine tall. So if your body's dumping down, then you let it go, bring the legs a little closer in, and bend your knees, okay? Bend your knees regardless of where you're at, but if your sacrum's hooked under, bend your knees a lot more and wiggle your hips back. We bend the knees so that we can flex the feet back against the shins. Push your heels down, lightly pull your heels in. This will engage your hamstrings, and that's going to help posture the body tall. Tee out your arms, breathe in. Exhale, tilt your pelvis forward. Keep your spine nice and long as you begin to bow. Lift through the back of the heart, then start to straighten your knees to your own degree. Relative to the quality of your breath, go into the feeling. Use your intuition, love and compassion, love and cooperation. And change the mindset from, no pain, no gain, into a relationship, a conversation where we listen to the body's intelligence. We listen to our own intuition. Slowly lift your chest, bring your legs together. And bend the knees a little. Final Savasana. Let your body release down to the ground. Take a moment. Maybe bend the knees, scoot your hips forward. Ground the hips. Use your elbows and shoulders. Move your head and spine back. If you wear your hair tied up in a ponytail or a bun, remove the band. Massage out your scalp. Separate the feet nice and wide. Take your arms down by your sides. Full body inhale. Empty out. Let's hum So you seal the lips and just let out a long hum as deep as you can so that you can feel the vibrations into the bones in your jaw, your face, and your chest. Full body inhale. Again, full body inhale. One more. Full body inhale. Slowly let your jaw, your tongue, your face soften. Feel the residual vibrations. For a moment, let go of your breath. Mentally chant the long Om. Laying there on the mat, picture yourself completely relaxed. Let the front of your body fall into the back of your body, and the back of your body fade into the mat. Nada Brahma. The universe is vibration. When we look at the ocean waves and see them oscillating, we can see a physical manifestation of energy. If you ever see a picture of a sound wave, it looks just like an ocean wave, but tightly packed. And these peaks and these valleys oscillate depending on how high and how low and how short or far apart they are. The frequency and the decibel of the sounds we hear changes. And those two components, the height and the space between each peak and valley, or the frequency, those two components are the vibrations that move the entire world. Depending on height and frequency, sounds change. Light changes. So we meditate on the sound Om, because words have a short rhythm. They happen so quickly in sentences, you might not feel that truth or notice the oscillation. But meditating on a single vibration, meditating on the constant Om, allows us to feel that vibratory energy. Om is a sacred fire. The more you can chant Om, the longer you sustain it, the more it will begin to dissolve the thoughts that are stuck in your mind. And the more you sustain it, not only will it clear the thoughts that were stuck, but it will also prevent other thoughts from rising. There may be moments where you lose the Om, and that's okay. The moment you recognize your thoughts have shifted, can you come back to it? So if you'd like to join me, you can make an audible Om or just keep it silently in your mind. 3 Oms, full body inhale. Focus on that sound Om. Within your ears, hear it. Within your eyes, simply visualize pure white light. See your body bathed in the light. Not only does the light surround you, but it emanates from you. The power of the sun exists in the heart of each and every one of us. Visualize the solar fire within yourself. The sound it makes is Om. And just as sound starts at a source and moves out, think of the light starting at the source within yourself and shining like the sun in every direction. Take time with this meditation. Whenever you find your thoughts are racing to the future or dwelling on the past, focus on the quality of the breath, rinsing the breath from full to empty, and repeating the sound Om, either audibly. The sound outside your ears will help you localize your awareness on it. And when you can, silently, in your mind, visualize yourself as brain waves, sound waves, and light waves, starting from the source, the center of your being, and emanating into every direction. May your practice clear your mind, open your heart, and allow you to shine. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Alex Artemiak. Please take a moment, like, subscribe, share this video with someone who might benefit from it. This practice has such a profound way of opening our hearts, of clearing our minds, and letting us return back to the light that exists within. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share this beauty and share your beauty with the world.